We need to talk about Trump trying to be the Pope.
Do we really need to talk about Trump trying to be the Pope?
So this was sent to me by Jordan, but like,
Can we talk about
we all
anything else?
It's just-
Anyone else?
it's so dumb.
It is.
I pulled the Lindsey Graham tweet, so we don't need to talk about that now. It's going to come up later. It's just so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Like, he just straight up said, yeah, Conclave started today.
I'm gonna forget this.
I'm looking out for pink smoke. We got the first trans pope.
I'm gonna forget this if I don't say it right now. But when I heard that Lindsey Graham had basically said what he did, I thought that I was reading it as James Lindsay, because at least James Lindsay made
that makes sense.
Right?
That makes sense.
That makes
he would say
way more sense than somebody who actually has a job.
Oh.
I mean, what?
Absolutely. You know what? I don't consider member of Congress to be a real job anymore.
I don't agree with you, because if I were to agree with you, I would be throwing people like Bernie and AOC who live that job and try to fight for people's rights as hard as they can.
No, it can be a real job, but as like, when I think of a real job, I think of a job that actually, like, there are consequences for your actions if you don't do it well. So like me, YouTuber, if I don't do my job well, if I start slacking off and being lazy with my videos and not putting effort into it, people stop watching. Thank you for that.
Viewership goes down. My
viewership goes down. People don't become patrons. I lose patrons that I currently have, and that affects me. That impacts me. I greatly admire Cats for $5, as I finally made it to stream.
Woo.
I'm not sure why that's not showing up on my super chat thing, because it went straight from Dark Falcon's $2 to Howard Duck's $1.99. I'm active duty military. Enjoy the fascism funds. But I'm not seeing that in here to highlight.
I also just realized that there is a severe delay on this platform on Zoom. That's fun.
Because it didn't show up in my chat because I'm streaming to your channels too. That's a super chat for you.
Oh,
that explains it. That explains it.
I should be looking at my YouTube chat as well.
Senshini's taking me out of context saying, I greatly admire Cats for $5, Vice Rhino.
I mean, for $5, I'll greatly admire anything if you need me to. $5 is $5.
But yeah, back to what I was saying. Like, if you are like the member of Congress is a job that you can just slack off, do nothing, not even show up, and you still get paid $175,000 a year or something obscene like that. Like there was that Republican lady that was in an old folks home with dementia for 6 months before anybody noticed, still receiving her paycheck. If I stopped making videos for 6 months, I would not get, like, I'd still get a pittance from people watching old videos, but that is a tiny, tiny sliver of like what my channel makes. So like, no, absolutely not. It's not a real job, because you can just go home and not do that job and still get paid from it. It is a grift at this point. Sure, there are members of Congress who are treating it as a real job and take it seriously, and I appreciate those people. But for every one of them, there's 10 of the other kind.
I also belatedly just realized that we are not live on my live channel. We are live on my main channel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just clicked the one that I have in my restream. You haven't logged into your live channel on mine.
Fair enough. I will have to do that. There we go. Now I see the $5 super chat. Thank you. I greatly admire that.
Durabo10 says, Suris, no judging dick pics for $5 a pop. Or Suris is now judging dick pics for $5 a pop. You know what? If you send me a dick pic and $5, I will absolutely send you a judgment of your dick.
Yeah, I'll give you an opinion. I'll give you an opinion.
I'm not going to guarantee that you will like that opinion.
I mean, I can tell you what most of my opinions are going to be. They're going to be, is that a guy dick? Ew. Is that a girl dick? Hot.
And then there's going to be me where I don't understand that. I don't understand that because a dick's a dick.
That's
Who says it's mine? I don't care whether or not it's yours, as long as you have permission to send it. No revenge porn, please.
yeah. If you send that, we're just gonna. I'd say we're gonna report you to the authorities, but the authorities kind of suck.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to send someone to El Salvador because they sent me someone else's dick.
I greatly admire Cats for $2 says politicians should be paid based on percent of voters. I don't agree with that because that's just okay. So if you've ever seen the show The Orville, that's literally just the popularity planet of the Orville, but strictly for politicians. If you have the seat, you get paid. I think it should be easier to remove a politician if they, aren't doing their job well. But yeah. I don't think their pay should drop based on percentage of votes. That would be really weird. So like having a tight race means that you get paid less. And then Republicans that always win in a landslide get paid more.
Oh, I forgot to fucking... God damn it. I forgot to save the Jedi Trump picture that they were tweeting out.
It's the one where he's using a Sith lightsaber?
Yeah, and talking about how, like, oh, the Democrats are the Sith. Here I am with my red lightsaber.
Like, my guy, maybe pick the correct lightsaber if you don't want to be seen as a villain.
I think my favorite part about that is that there are people, like... Whenever anybody points out, like, yeah, note the red lightsabers are the bad guys in Star Wars pretty consistently, there's always like some Star Wars nerd that like pops in and be like, oh, well, actually in this one story, a Jedi had a red lightsaber this one time in some thing that like nobody except the hardcore Star Wars nerds have ever heard of. It's like, okay, but like if you have to read a book to have learned about that, you can't expect the average American voter to be aware of it,
to know about that as far as they know. Like, also, like, so there are two canons for Star Wars lightsabers. I'll be the Star Wars nerd that has read the books to be the one that jumps all over this one. There are two canons for Star Wars lightsabers. In the OG canon, the reason that Sith lightsabers were
because they're synthetic crystals.
They are synthetic crystals.
They don't put in the work to get the actual real legit kyber crystals.
No, it wasn't that they didn't put in the work. It was that the Jedi controlled the mine, like the actual mine that the crystals were mined from.
It's been a long time since I read that book.
Yeah, they were because back when this lore was established, they were called Adagan crystals, and the mines that had them were always in the inner rim, where like near Coruscant. That is an area that the Jedi and the Republic classically always had control of. So the Sith were not able to get access to those things without, way more risk than they ever needed to do.
Jess is pointing out General Grievous, while not a Sith, did not have any red lightsabers. Yeah, but why did he have the not red lightsabers, Jess?
It's because he poached them from Jedi. Mm-hmm. So other thing, the other canon for Sith lightsabers is that a Sith lightsaber is either stolen from a Jedi when you kill a Jedi, or it is a kyber crystal that you have taken the way you normally would, but instead of feeling out through that kyber crystal with the Force, which was a newer thing that Disney introduced that will churn its color into what it's going to be, instead you bleed the crystal of its power, and the act of bleeding the crystal of its power turned it red. It's why Ahsoka had white lightsabers, because purifying a tainted, bled lightsaber turns it white. That's how you make a white lightsaber. This is shit that I actually care about. So
but my point is that most people, when they see Star Wars related stuff, if they see red lightsaber, they know that is a bad guy.
That's a Sith.
Yeah.
That's also just a general thing you do with color theory. Like if you look at Star Wars Episode 7, anytime that something bad is about to happen or the bad guy is making a decision, all of the lighting on characters' faces turns red. There's just a basic color theory thing that happens. I might be autistic, actually. You guys may actually be right about this.
It's been so long since I've seen episode 7, I can't really recall. Yeah, now chat's going nuts with your awakening. But
with
yeah,
your
awakening.
It's not that. I'm gonna forget about it next week. You know that.
Yeah, and then you'll remember, and then you'll hyperfocus.
Just ignore the fact
and then
that
it will
I'm
become
sorting
your personality for a month, and then you'll be fine.
Ignore the fact that I'm sorting magic cards as we're having this conversation.
Yeah, see, I can't do that because I still have to read every word on every single one, so you could just read the name and be like, yeah, I know what that one does because you have them all memorized because of the tism.
Read the name? I look at the pictures. Speaking of which, I found your commander in here, but it's a special full art version of it that I didn't know I had.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'll hold on to that for the next time I see Rhino in like 3 or 4
deck.
years.
That's a fun deck. But I think I don't know what's going on with my Lord of the Rings deck.
Okay, what's up?
Because I thought I had the Sauron one, but I don't have Sauron's card. So either I lost it.
That should have come with 2 Sauron cards. So
okay, maybe it wasn't the Sauron one then.
Because there should be a thick Sauron card that's big and shiny, and then there should be a regular Sauron card that looks like a normal magic card.
Oh, am I supposed to keep the thick ones? I thought they were just decorative.
The thick ones are legal for play if they are in the command zone.
Okay.
So you can just hold on to it and use it in case you lose yours.
You can't have a big thick boy in your deck so you always know where it is.
Yeah, that would be an interesting idea for Wizards to experiment with. What if we just let people mark their cards? Yeah, it'd be fine.
How did we get from Star Wars to Lord of the Rings? Because Suris brought up Magic, and I have a Lord of the Rings deck, and I'm new at Magic, and I have not played with my Lord of the Rings deck yet because I can't find my commander.
I mean, if it helps, Sauron is like a 10-cent commander. Just ask your local card shop if they have a copy. They'll probably have 12.
I was just going to send you a picture of like 3 of the cards and say, what deck is this?
I mean, yeah, you can do that. You can do that too. The decks are all color coded.
Yeah, because maybe I'm just wrong about what deck I have, and I don't actually have Sauron. I have one of the other bad guy decks from Lord of the Rings.
There was only one bad guy deck. It was Sauron. There's Éowyn, Galadriel, and Frodo and Pippin, or Frodo and Sam.
And Sauron's red and black, right?
Sauron's red, black, and blue.
Okay, yeah, that's the Sauron deck then. I don't know where my Sauron. I lost my Sauron.
Then just ask your local card shop to give you one for 10 cents. They'll have one for 10 cents, I promise.
I don't have a local card shop.
It's like 20 minutes from where you are, I think, something like that.
That's not local.
That's local. Mine's 15 minutes from me, and I can get there on an e-scooter.
Not local.
Oh my God.
Anyway, as you are all probably aware, Trump floated the idea of him being Pope, and then somebody made an AI image of it, and then Trump posted it, and then the White House Twitter account posted it. And Catholics were not impressed, which is kind of funny because a lot of them voted for Trump.
I think they are very, very like it's their religion, so it makes sense that they would say, yeah, but you have to be part of the papal state. Like you have to be one of the people who has gone through clergy in order to become the Pope. If you're like, they're gonna stick to that shit as hard as they can. Also, every time that I think papal, I think a PayPal state, and then I remember that Elon Musk had a big share in PayPal and wants to make us go down the era of techno-feudalism, and then I get really sad.
Yeah. Because
a PayPal state could very well become a thing, and that makes me kind of want to ram my head through drywall.
Yep. Yeah, Fenix pointing out the only qualifications are male and Catholic. Yes, that is true. However, Trump is not Catholic.
So this is one of those de facto de jure things. Like, yes, de jure maybe it's male and Catholic is the only thing that matters, but the default has always been selection from clergy.
Yeah, I want Pizza Balla to win, just so that we can have Pope Pizza Balla, because I think that's hilarious.
Rome is in Italy.
Jess is saying, I hate that he's our first atheist president. Yeah, but he's only atheist in his private life, and I would even doubt that, because like a lot of people, when I refer to him as an atheist, it's like if you think he actually believes in Christianity, like I got a bridge to sell you.
I'm of the opinion that he is, like Adolf Hitler before him, a politician first and foremost, which I know sounds weird because he's called himself a businessman first and foremost, but he's failed at that. So we're just going to go ahead and call him what he actually is, a liar for trade. And the cool thing about everybody who has a lot of power as a liar for trade is they know to utilize whatever the dominant religion is in the area to make the populace do what they want. This is a commonality between not just every dictator, but also every person, with one exception. If memory serves, there was some other shit that Stalin tried. But generally speaking, with your dictators, they are going to use, and most of your leaders, they are going to use the prominent religion of the area. So in America, the prominent religion here is, I mean, technically baptism, all things considered, but realistically, the prominent religion is just Protestant Christianity.
Yeah.
Some flavor of Protestant Christianity is the thing that dominates America. So of course, that's what Trump appeals to.
And this is where I can say, like, I am convinced that he does not believe in God, except maybe he considers himself a god. So in his heart of hearts, I don't think he believes in God. But it doesn't matter what's in his heart of hearts. What matters is what he says and does. And he says and does things that indicate Christianity to be the religion that he at least pretends to believe. So this is where, like, it's the same thing with Hitler. Anytime an apologist brings up Hitler and says, see what atheism leads to, and it's like, okay, but okay, maybe Hitler was an atheist. I don't think he was. He definitely wasn't a Christian, but I don't think he was an atheist. There was too much occult stuff and supernatural stuff that he was dabbling in that, like, I could see him believing in some sort of God. Yeah, Hitler was a Roman Catholic. I'm not talking about officially. I'm talking about in his heart of hearts, what he actually believed. But the thing is, he had to make use of Christianity in order to accomplish what he did. So, like, you can say that, oh, Hitler was an atheist, look at the bad thing that the atheist did. But doesn't that make Christianity look so much worse when you realize that the atheist couldn't do that by saying, I am an atheist and this is what I shall do? He had to pretend to be a Christian, because then the Christians would do the thing that he couldn't accomplish as an atheist. So, like, atheism wins that one. If you say Hitler was an atheist, then yeah. And he had to pretend not to be in order to do the things that he did.
In order to do a genocide. Oh, by the way, the United States is participating in a couple of genocides. And oh, by the way, dominant religion here and religion
at least
that is
two
exploited.
that I can think of off the top of my head.
The two that I'm thinking of are trans people and homelessness, but I guess 3 if you count Gaza.
Yeah, I was counting Gaza, so yeah, 3.
Like, America, hostile architecture in general is an attempt to eliminate homeless people, because if you make hostile architecture and homeless people don't have a place to go, they only have one option, and that is die.
Yeah, like, where I physically
I'm just going to assume that
somewhere.
that is the side effect of being where I am.
Yeah, okay, we've lost Suris's visual.
Okay, and can I reset it? Can I reset it and get it back?
Well, we can hear you again, but the delay is horrible.
Jesus Christ. Well, I guess I'm just going to be like this for a little bit.
All right. Yeah, everybody in Suris's hotel is watching porn now, so...
I guess it's because I'm here and they know the reputation that I have. I don't know how they know that. And
hotel Wi-Fi is bullshit. Yeah, you know what? I've never had these problems when I've been away in hotels and streaming. Just saying. Seems like a skill issue.
I know where you live.
Do you?
You actually have sent me your address once or
okay.
twice. Oh wait, no, I don't know where you live because my
I've moved since I sent you my address.
not only have you done that, but also my WhatsApp deletes messages after a while for space saving.
7 days.
So I don't have that information. Never mind. I can't make do on any threats. Anyway, where do you live?
Canada.
All right. We're gonna need bigger nukes.
Yeah. Yeah, so Trump posting about being the Pope, he seemed to be serious about it. This is one of those things where all of his defenders will be like, "Oh, he was obviously joking. It's obviously just a joke. Haha, he's joking about it." It's
like even if he's joking, why can we not take the words of the President of the United States seriously?
Well, you can take them seriously as long as it's not something patently ridiculous. Never mind the fact that he believes the patently ridiculous things. Like, I'm sure you saw the clip of him reacting to the journalist telling him that the MS-13 on Abrego Garcia's knuckles was photoshopped.
Yes, where he just was like,
if you
do you want me to show you the photo? Do you want me to show you the photo?
Yeah,
it's real.
Show me the photo. I can show you. Yeah, I will absolutely look at the photo where we can clearly see that it's just somebody typed in photo. Like, they didn't even try to make it look real. Like, I think what they were trying to do with that was to say that the tattoos that are actually on his knuckles stood for the letter M, the S13. And so, like, they were just labeling them as, like, this is what it stands for.
Because didn't his knuckles just have, like, MS cross skull?
No, it wasn't. There weren't even letters. There was, like, a smiley face, a marijuana leaf.
Oh, marijuana smile, cross skull.
Something like that. I don't know, but like, so I think that's what they were going for, whoever did that, because it clearly was not meant to look like a tattoo. But Trump is such a fucking idiot that he saw that and was like, "Oh, see, he got MS-13 just tattooed straight on his knuckles."
Also, just a sidebar, if you're in a prominent gang like that and you're having to engage in gang activity, which often involves espionage, why the fuck would you tattoo that shit on your knuckles where everybody can see it? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, actually, from what I heard, actual MS-13 gang members do just tattoo MS-13 on their bodies as a sign of loyalty.
That sounds insanely stupid.
It's not smart to join a gang. So there's kind of a selection process there.
I understand that. It's just one of those things that, like, I
mean, also, like, I say that, but, like, I do recognize that sometimes people get pressured into it and they don't really have a choice in the matter, but
yeah, there are people that find themselves in the situation where they are just
and Abrego Garcia was one of those people. That was why he was in the States in the first place. Here. And it wasn't MS-13, it was the other one, but
which was the one that the barber got thrown in for.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of that one.
I don't remember either. It's irrelevant, really. But yeah, so Trump is just a fucking idiot who he appears to believe all the things that he says. And so far, every time we have taken him seriously on something and then been told, "Oh, he was just joking," he has then turned around and tried to do that thing. So
also, even if he was joking, I don't think Lindsey Graham was.
No.
That did not read like a joke tweet. That this is like a we're not talking about the parade today, are we? Or are we talking about the parade?
No, we're not talking about the parade.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring this up now. So you've seen everything about the military parade that he's going to be doing on June 14th, right? So you saw that this is being billed as a celebration of the army that just happens to take place on Trump's birthday, that just happens to be in Washington, D.C. But don't worry, it's about the army specifically. So this feels like one of those things where we're going to call it what it is, which is a parade for Trump, because he has stated that he wants to have a military parade. He's idolized military parades in places like North Korea.
Yeah.
But When we call that out, people are going to go, no, don't you see? It's not a military parade for Trump. It's just celebrating the army. What are you, not a patriot? Do you not like the U.S. military or support our troops? What's wrong with you?
When was the last time they had a military parade like that?
We don't.
Yeah, exactly.
The last time it was suggested outside of with Trump was with Eisenhower, and Eisenhower said only despots and weak leaders do a military parade like that.
Sometimes both. Yeah. But yeah, back to the Pope thing with him taking it seriously. He later said that, like, oh, no Catholics were offended by that. It was just the news media making up, like, pretending to be offended so they could have something bad to say about me. But so Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who was a Trump supporter, said, there's nothing clever or funny about this image, Mr. President. Oh, no, that was the New York State Catholic Conference. He said, I hope he didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't good. As Italians say, it was bruta figura, which means embarrassing, I guess. And I also know that I didn't pronounce that right. No need to correct me.
No, correct him in the comments section. It's good for engagement.
The Catholic Conference, New York State Catholic Conference also said, we just buried our beloved Pope Francis and the cardinals are about to enter a solemn conclave to elect a new successor of St. Peter. Do not mock us. Father James Martin said that people were surprised by it and thought it was in incredibly poor taste, but over here in Rome, I love this, but over here in Rome, most people are more concerned about the next Pope than the current president. So, like, yes, the Catholics were offended by it. But the people in Rome are just like, yeah, fuck that guy. We don't care. He's just an idiot. Which I kind of love that one. But yeah, this is just another one of those instances of Trump being like, if I say it, it must be true. So I say that nobody was offended by it. Therefore, nobody was offended by it.
Therefore, nobody was offended by it. Nobody possibly could be offended by the idea of you shitting over hundreds of years of religious tradition for people who believe that this is the key to them getting into the afterlife and living forever. That would not offend anybody whatsoever.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not above this sort of thing myself. Like, I could absolutely see me making a joke.
We're going to shit on the pedophile Catholic Church.
I could absolutely see me making a joke about me becoming the next pope for some reason. I don't know, and doing something stupid with it. Like, hey,
there's nothing.
I will make sure the Catholic Church rapes fewer kids. Sorry, that's not actually something stupid. That's something they should do. And I would absolutely shit on that. But I'm not the president of the United States.
It's not even that you're not the president of the United States. I'm because like if a different atheist were in there and he shat on the Catholic Church, we'd be celebrating that. So I'm not even going to say it's because he's the president of the United States. I'm going to say it's the flagrant denial of reality that's my main issue. No, I didn't offend anybody. Yeah, there's people who really want me to do it. Yeah, this is totally a thing that's going to happen. Like, no. That's the thing that I have issues with. I have issues with a president who lives more in his play pretend world and then tries to shape the world around that play pretend world more than anything else.
Drew Harrison says, the bishops offered me the gig. I told them I'm too busy smoking dope. Yeah, how do you think they make the smoke black or white or whatever color it is?
They just sit in there for several days
they just
getting pizza. It. No, they're just baking pizza. Lots of pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full-time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fire Shard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.